Alrighty, so I'm actually outside right now in this little patio area here at the hotel, and of course behind me is City Park, and in just about a bit I'm going to be going in there to watch the Houston Dynamo versus St. Louis City. But before that, I'm actually going to first do the review of the earlier game between Toronto versus Inter Miami, and this is kind of a bit of a ramshackle review because I forgot to bring the board down here when I was going to do the review, and also I forgot to bring my Inter Miami jersey as well, so I'll basically be just kind of wearing St. Louis, and it's kind of weird the fact that I'm wearing a jersey of a team that isn't even involved in this game. But like I said, it's a bit of a ramshackle review that I'm doing. But either way, this game between Toronto and Inter Miami, well, this game looked like it had 0-0 written all over it, and then Inter Miami of course strike, and this is also a classic example of what happened when you don't take your chances against Inter Miami. And Toronto, for the most part, I thought in at least in the first half they played relatively well. Second half, not so much, but they just didn't take their chances. And when you don't take your chances against Inter Miami, it doesn't matter if Inter Miami isn't playing well. If they're getting that one chance in the final third, most of the time they're going to bury it, and they did exactly that in this game. Now, in the first half, pretty much a B team for Inter Miami. And again, part of the reason why Inter Miami didn't really play well in this game is because they didn't put their starters in. And I think that's going to be how it is for these last couple of games for Inter Miami. They already wrapped up the supporter shield. Obviously, I know they want the points record, though, I'm pretty sure, I know a lot of commentators and a lot of analysts have been talking about the record, but I think in Tata Martino mind, and maybe even in Inter Miami fans' mind, they don't really care about the record. They want to make sure this full roster is going to be healthy enough to compete in the playoffs. So it's understandable that they decided to heavily rotate coming into this game, knowing the fact that it's only three days after that emotional win against the Columbus Crew to lift the supporter shield for the first time in their franchise history. But yeah, like I said, pretty much a B team for Miami. They pretty much made 10 changes in this game, and that included the goalkeeper too, as Savri for Inter Miami gets his first start in this game, and I thought he did well in this one. He actually had to call into action literally 20 seconds in, denying Franklin from close range, as I thought Toronto was on the front foot, which is unsurprising because they had to win this game. I mean, they technically don't need to win this game to stay alive, and technically this resort, even though they lost, they're not officially mathematically eliminated. But as I'll mention before, it's gonna take almost a Hail Mary for them to make it now into the playoffs. As I said, Toronto on the front foot, they were looking for the opener. Osorio would hit one right to Ustari, and then Osorio would put it wide from long range. By the way, I do apologize if there is going to be a little bit of wind and there's traffic in the background. And again, I think it's the first time in a while that I've actually did a review outdoor. But the shots were 3-0 for Toronto early, as Miami was happy to sit back and counter. Ustari then denying Kerr on the doorstep of goal, and then Campana with Miami's first shot, but he hits this one right to Johnson. That would actually only be 1 of 4 shots that Inter Miami would get throughout this game. Toronto, of course, continue to control the possession, but the final third is just not there for them, especially the final ball there. Yes, Ustari did make a couple of saves, but it wasn't really like he had to make some big save and had to work hard to make those saves. Well, that kind of changed just a little bit when Larea then hits one right to Ustari, and then he had to make 2 saves here, denying both Larea and then Franklin there, of course, on the rebound with a fingertip save, which is probably the best save that he had made in this game. And definitely he was channeling his inner Drake Callender. Something tells me Drake Callender must have gave all his skill to Ustari in this game, because he was trying to keep TFC off the board, at least in the first half, and that's exactly what it did, as we had to halftime scoreless between both of these teams. Now, in the second half, obviously there was a loud chant for Messi around the stadium when he came up to warm up. Of course, obviously, I know this is a home game for Toronto FC, but you probably already know that anytime when you play against Inter Miami, either at home or away, it's going to be, you're going to hear the Messi chant at time. There was definitely a lot of people in that crowd that was wearing Messi jersey, either with Argentina or Inter Miami, or even some Barcelona jersey that has Messi name on the back. Rojas then puts it high on the free kick before Owusu, who puts it high on the free kick in the 57 minutes. And then when Messi and Busquets was summoned, that's when the phone really came out. I mean, again, this is not a big surprise. Obviously, a lot of people there are clearly see the greatest player of all time in person, and they get a chance to do so with him off the bench. There was a shout for a handball for TFC not given, and I just also feel like it was a little bit too panicky from TFC. Like when they get into the final third, they just kind of overplaying and scared to shoot, almost like they're trying to make the perfect play in the final third. And I guess that kind of makes sense for a team that is clearly need to win in this game, and that, you know, they some of these players, knowing that the pressure that they have to score a goal, they need to win this game to keep at least some sort of playoff hopes alive. They kind of overthink it, and we kind of saw it in that play with just so many times where TFC was just almost looking for the perfect goal, the perfect movement, and more times than not, when you do that, it's not going to work out for you. We then had a stoppage of play as there was a pitch invader trying to get close to Messi. Not as much as what we saw in this game compared to the other night when I went to watch Miami play against Charlotte. But there's like 4 times where the game was stopped because of pitch invader, and that include in the beginning of stoppage time, where at first they were going to announce that there was 8 minutes of stoppage, and then it turns out to be like 13 because there was a couple of pitch invader invading the pitch so forth. And in some way that kind of also doesn't help TFC with the way that, you know, time was winding down. Insigne then tried to chip Ustari from the halfway line, but he clearly didn't have enough there, and he hits it right to Ustari. And again, it looked like this game had 0-0 written all over it. And then that changed in the 3rd minute of stoppage time when Inter Miami gets the lead and what turns out to be the win. It's Leo Campana. He scored from Suarez to make it 1-0 in favor of Inter Miami. And again, just another reminder, you have to be almost perfect against Inter Miami. You have to be clinical in terms of your finishing, because if you're going to get 1 or 2 chances, there you go. That's exactly what happened, as in the end, Inter Miami, they get 3 points in this one. They're now at 71 points, if I'm not mistaken, and if they can win their next game, they would have the record for the most point ever by an MLS team in the regular season. They'll pass the New England Revolution, which I think that the points total was 72 that they set in a couple of years ago. But the shots in this one, 15 shots compared to 4 that Miami has, 7 shots on goal compared to 2 that Inter Miami has, 1 shots off target compared to 3 that Toronto has, 5 shots that was blocked compared to 1 that Miami has, and possession-wise, 57% possession compared to the 43% possession that Toronto has in this game. And yeah, for Inter Miami, continue to win games and chase down that record that New England, of course, have for the points record. But for TFC, I mean, again, they're not mathematically eliminated coming out of this game even with a loss, but it's pretty much now just a Hail Mary for them to make it. In fact, if both Philly and DC, if they can even win one of their game, or even get a draw in any of the remaining 2 games, then they'll pass Toronto in that 9th position, because Toronto is the only team to not play in decision day. And we're going to have a situation like what we had a year ago, where DC was in that 9th spot, but they had the E next to their name heading into decision day because they don't play on decision day, and they couldn't get the enough points so that teams below them will pass them no matter what the result is. So yeah, either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button. Again, it's a bit of a ramshackle one because I'm not even wearing the right jersey. At least, well, I am kind of wearing the right jersey as of course the jersey that I'm wearing. The team basically play right over there in the horizon. But either way, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, make sure you guys leave a like, smash the subscribe button, and yeah, I of course will see you guys next time.